There comes a point on every woman's healing journey where we realize it's not always the obvious patterns that keep us disconnected from ourselves. Sometimes the ego simply learns a more spiritual language. What once looked like people-pleasing can become keeping the peace. What once looked like perfectionism can become trying to stay high vibe. What once looked like emotional suppression can become protecting our inner peace. And because these patterns sound healthier or more conscious, they can be harder to recognize, especially when we've already done so much inner work, especially when we've spent years healing, growing, awakening. But healing isn't about becoming perfectly calm, perfectly positive, or endlessly serene. True healing asks something deeper. It asks us to become honest. Honest about what we're feeling, honest about what feels heavy, honest about the ways we still protect ourselves from being fully seen, fully real, fully alive. And because even our spiritual armor is still armor. So this week we gently begin to notice, what am I still carrying that no longer feels true? Take a breath. Allow yourself to arrive here. Feel your body. Feel your feet. Feel your breath. And this week we begin to notice what no longer fits. Not by judging ourselves, but by becoming aware. So many of the patterns you carry once served you. They helped you feel safe. They helped you belong. They helped you navigate moments in your life where you didn't yet feel fully anchored in yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yet now, some of those same patterns might feel a little heavier, a little tighter, a little less true. And you might notice it in simple, everyday moments. Saying yes to something and feeling that subtle contraction in your body. Scrolling your phone when what you actually need is a conscious breath, a little movement, or even a pause. Keeping yourself busy so you don't have to feel what's underneath. Or maybe it's even the way that you show up with others. Saying the right thing or holding back what's actually true. Being the one who holds it all together. Making sure everyone else is okay before checking in with yourself. None of this makes you wrong. It is showing you who you've been. And sometimes, as we begin healing, those patterns don't automatically disappear. They just become more spiritual looking. The armor changes form because so many of the habits and the patterns we carry were originally created to help keep us safe, to protect us, to help us belong, to keep us from being hurt. And that armor, it may have been necessary for a season. And armor is heavy. It hides your softness, your truth, your light. And on the spiritual path, we can unknowingly create new forms of armor, more subtle ones. Armor that says, I need to maintain inner peace at any cost. I should think positively right now. I need to stay calm and centered all the time. Or looking serene on the outside while something is hurting, angry, overwhelmed, or exhausted on the inside. These patterns look aligned. They can sound spiritual and still keep us disconnected from what's true. Because true healing is not pretending you've transcended your humanity. It's becoming honest enough to actually be with yourself. not by bypassing your emotions, not by forcing yourself into high vibration, not spiritually performing wellness. And this week, we gently begin to notice, where am I still hiding behind armor? Even beautiful armor. And what might become possible if I no longer need to protect myself in that way? This week, we're gently asking, is that still who I am? Instead of trying to change anything right away, I want you to begin noticing through your body and your energy, because your body will tell you the truth faster than your mind ever will. When something is aligned, you feel a sense of openness, a quiet ease, a natural yes. And when something is outgrown, you might feel a sense of tightening, a heaviness, a subtle resistance that doesn't feel like growth. It feels like depletion. That is your signal. And here's where we shift. Instead of saying, I need to fix this, or I shouldn't be doing this, or I should be doing that, what if you simply say, oh, I see this. I see this part of me. I see this part of me that learned how to cope in this way. I see how it helped me, and I see that I might not need it anymore. That awareness alone begins to loosen the grip. So, over the next day or two, just watch yourself a little more closely. When you reach for something, like your phone or a drink or a snack you don't need, pause. Ask yourself gently, what do I really need right now? When you say yes, check in. Did that feel true? And when you feel the urge to fill space, notice what's underneath that. You don't have to change anything yet. You're just gathering awareness. Because once you truly see what's no longer aligned, letting go doesn't have to be forced. It becomes a natural next step. Take a breath right here. Let that land. This is where your clearing begins. Your clearing does not begin with force, dear sister. It begins with awareness, loving awareness. Not shame, not shooting on yourself, not forcing yourself to become better or someone else, and definitely not by blaming others for where you are. Love. Because love creates safety, and safety allows truth to rise. And truth is what finally sets you free. All my love. If this conversation resonated, there's nothing you need to force or fix today. Just stay honest, stay present, stay loving with yourself. And if you'd like more support on this, I'd love to welcome you deeper into the Be More You journey. I'll link everything below.